This podcast is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our ABCC's podcast. I have Alan here with us again today, and of course, my name is Marcus. Welcome everyone back, and Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. So what topics are we going to talk about today, Marcus?
Yeah, today we are going to talk about 2022 as a whole. I think there was so many different crypto events that happened in 2022. And since right now it's a new year, I thought we should, look back on some of the big events that happened and recap a little bit on what is going to happen in 2023 as well. And yeah, Ellen, maybe you can start off with some of the 2022 news that you know.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So I think there was so many events happened in 2022, but I think the first one I would probably like to share is probably the fall of Terra Luna. So basically, Terra Network and its leader Du Quan rose to prominences in the cryptocurrency world over the course of the last 4 years, and all ending in a disastrous fall from the grave. So the Luna crypto network collapsed in what's considered the largest crypto crash ever, with an estimated of 60 billion value wiped out, basically shaking the whole global digital currency market. So basically what happened was on May 7th last year, 2022, over 2 billion worth of UST was unstaked, taken off of Anchor Protocol, and hundreds of millions of it were quickly liquidated. There's a debate as to whether this happened as a response to raising interest rate or it was a malicious attack on the Terra blockchain. But the huge sell-off brought down the price of UST to 0.91 from $1. As a result, traders starting to change 90 cents worth of UST for $1 of Luna. Once a large amount of UST has been offloaded, the stablecoin started to depack in panic. More people sold off UST, which led to the minting of more Luna and an increase of the circulating supply of Luna.
Yeah, that was actually extremely crazy at that point in time. So many people were just rushing to offload, and the sell-off was so big that the entire market crashed.
Yeah, I think what's worse was it brings down every other crypto asset as well, because the LFG actually were holding a lot of Bitcoin for launch and a basket of these different digital assets, and they were trying to they said they were trying to sell and then to pack back the UST, but unfortunately that never happened, right?
Yeah, it never happened.
Yeah, so basically followed the crash, a lot of crypto exchanges started to list Luna and UST. So basically Luna has been abandoned and it has become basically worthless now. So I would say the Luna meltdown started to melt down the impact of the entire cryptocurrency market in 2022, which was already highly volatile and experiencing difficult at that time. So basically, it was estimated Luna crash ended up taking a price of Bitcoin and causing estimation loss of 300 billion in value across the entire crypto space. And then shortly after that, the crypto leaders, Voyager, Celsius, filed for bankruptcy. And then our most infamous Three Arrows Capital was also forced into liquidation. So I mean, shortly after, Du Quan did try to share a recovery plan for Luna, and things looked promising for a relief period of time in May. But after the original crash, the coin ultimately plummeted, and it was promptly abandoned. And Terra ended up launching a new coin called Luna 2.0. But then on September 15th, it was announced that the court in South Korea has issued an arrest warrant for Du Quan. This has become 4 months after the collapse of Luna and UST. The two tokens that Terraform Labs issued, Du Quan and 5 other people were currently accused of violating the local market laws.
So all in all, I think the Terra actually started a huge snowball effect. And it actually brings us to the next one that I'm going to talk about, which Alan mentioned, is Celsius, Three Arrows, Voyager. They were hit largely because of Terra, and the large part of all these founders of these companies that I just mentioned, they are either going into hiding, or they have just completely disappeared off the map, or they are just not active, and you cannot really see them on social media and things like that already. It's really very sad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think it's very sad. But at the end of the day, I think it's the over leverage really kills the market.
Yep.
With all these, I would say, over leverage trading, and try to make the assets more efficient, right?
Yep. I think they really wanted to probably do good at the start, but then maybe greed took over, and there was just so much monies in the system, and so much that they thought that they could probably leverage more and make more returns. But ultimately, all these are highly risky. So that's why we always try to tell our clients, our users, to be prudent, and especially in our podcast as well. I think we mentioned a couple of times to be extremely prudent with your funds, to make sure that you're not over leveraged. Of course, none of this is a financial advice, but it's just good practice, I think. And I think
100%.
Yeah,
I think the market is, because the digital assets, the crypto market is very volatile already. If you it's very risky if you over leverage.
I think when we also talk about Terra and the others like Three Arrows and Celsius, we cannot also forget that the next part will be probably the biggest news, I can say, which is the collapse of FTX. So actually on November 2nd, an article from the crypto trade publication CoinDesk actually cited a leak of a financial document that raised questions about the relationship between FTX and SBS trading house Alameda Research. And on paper, they were actually two separate companies that happened to be owned by the same person. But the CoinDesk article said that Alameda rests on a foundation largely made up of a coin that a sister company invented. So, so that was really very funny, because a few days later, Binance actually said the company actually said that they will liquidate about 580 million worth of FTT, which is FTX native token, in-house token. And actually that set off like a firestorm of drawdowns that FTX didn't have the cash to facilitate. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Alan?
So yeah, I think FTX was as another really I would say no one can see that coming. FTX was the second largest exchange, or probably one of the largest market making company out there in our industry. So yeah, I think the FTT issue was. I think when they try to pay out with people with their own token, you would see that coming, right? Like if people want cash, they will sell your FTT, right? When the market is good, people are going to hold it, and you're able to hold the price, and then everyone believe in the value. But I think as soon as like in the bear market or in a downtrend market, I mean, these things, like people will sell it as quickly as possible, try to get cash out of instead of holding the token.
Yeah,
so,
I totally agree as well. I think the scary part for FTX and where it really went wrong was what I said earlier, was when Binance actually went to mainstream media and said that they're just gonna dump like 580 million of FTT. I don't know if you feel the same way as well.
Okay, I think they don't need to make it public, to be honest. But like again, and then it's really Binance's assets, right? They could have sold it if they really wanted to.
Yeah, the public thing was nobody
Yeah.
really expected that to come.
But anyway, so FTX was facing a massive liquidity crisis, right? So it was need to bail out. And surprisingly, the first one, I mean, say the one they were trying to get rescued
Yeah.
was from Binance, which was they I won't say Binance started it, but they did make it public, and it did scale off a lot of it did create a lot of fun around the whole situation. And then I would say they did play a part on the downfall of FTX. But I think at the end, FTX has their own problem by trying to run the exchange like a bank, right? They basically just keep reserves of funds rather than 100% reserves or clients' assets. So yeah, so basically what happened is after that, in early November, I think November 11th, FTX and Amanda filed for bankruptcy. And then SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, has resigned as CEO of the exchange. And then soon after FTX ran down, a lot of crypto firms were inundated requests from customers seeking to claw their money back. The crypto equivalent of a run on the bank. So several firms have been forced to suspend withdrawals while they sort out their liquidity problems. So among the firms that are raised is the lender BlockFi, which said it was significant exposure to FTX. BlockFi was suspended most operation, according to the Wall Street Journal. The company is prepared for the potential bankruptcy filing. So actually, I got an interesting story about BlockFi. So you know, BlockFi actually was they actually almost went bankruptcy when I think when Luna or 3AC crashes.
Yep.
And then FTX offers to buy them out. And I actually met two persons in the event in Hong Kong. They were from BlockFi, and they were still trying to get people to do deposit. It was like I think it was like after token 20.9. I think it was like during the FinTech week.
Right. That was not too long ago, actually.
Yeah. So that was like probably like a couple of months ago, right? Like I think in October or something. Yeah. So I met them in a drinks, and they were saying they're from BlockFi. I say, oh, how's the situation there? They say it's fine. They have new investors, and then apparently and then shortly after that it was. So I think it was quite sad for like all BlockFi users. I mean, I used to use BlockFi like way back like 3 years ago, but yeah. Anyway, so on 28th November, BlockFi filed bankruptcy due to the 275 million.
Yep.
Exposed to FTX. Is it million or billion?
I think it's 275 million exposure.
Okay. Okay, so basically BlockFi has more than 100,000 creditors and estimate between 1 to 10 billion assets in liability.
So moving on.
275 million doesn't make sense. Though.
It's too little?
Maybe. I don't know, it's like 20%, right? I guess this makes sense.
Okay. 275 million.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
No. I think let's take a side step away from all this scary stuff that we just mentioned, like the FTX, like Terra, and when we sidestep it out of it, we can actually see that there is another big hack another big crypto hack or exploit, if you can say, that was on XC Infinity's Ronin breach in March 2022. That was, of course, overshadowed by all the bigger news that was coming. But at a point in time in March last year, 2022, it was probably one of the biggest news of the year to date. And a group of attackers actually identified by the US law enforcement as one of the North Korean state-sponsored Lazarus Group, and they were using phishing emails to gain access to like 5 of 9 Ronin chain validators, and all in all, they exploited a total of about $551 million, which was extremely crazy because for almost a week, nobody managing the breach or providing liquidity to it actually realized that the funds had been drained. Nobody actually knew about it happening. So it was only after about a week that everyone realized, and by then when they realized, everything was gone, and there was almost no way of tracing it back as well. So of course, this Ronin incident actually marked the start of a huge spate of Lazarus Group attacks against the crypto space. And in June, there was a similar situation whereby another network, which is a layer 1 network, Harmony, actually lost $100 million to a similar phishing scheme. And yeah, all these exploits, you can see actually in almost on a monthly, or at least every bi-monthly, you can see actually these exploits happening across different chains, not only just a particular chain. So all these things are actually, that's why it is very important that we always stay afloat with the crypto news to make sure that we are updated to see where things go wrong. You might have monies in one chain, you might have monies in another chain. You need to know exactly what your monies are doing and stay on track with them as well. And apart from that, that was, of course, a small news with what was to come later on, which was, of course, the Ukraine and the Russia situation. And because of the war that was ongoing with Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine actually began accepting crypto donations. So the Russia-Ukraine conflict had major impact on global markets in 2022. Of course, cryptocurrency is part of the impacted industry as well. And the market actually plunged as the Russia President Putin ordered the Russian military to invade Ukraine. And within days of the invasion, the Ukrainian government actually posted on their Twitter requesting Bitcoin and Ethereum donations with 2 wallet addresses included. And that tweet itself actually sparked a lot of confusion, with actually Vitalik coming out to warn people that the account may have been hacked. So the government actually, the Ukrainian government actually promptly confirmed that the request was in fact legitimate. So that was extremely funny because both sides were actually legit in their request as well as trying to warn people. So they were really asking, the Ukrainian government were really asking for help in terms of war relief funds in the form of crypto. And shortly after, of course, the donations flooded in, and within 3 days, the government had raised over $30 million worth of crypto in the form of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polkadot. And of course, other digital assets as well. And someone even, the funniest thing is, someone even sent a CryptoPunk NFT in. So a CryptoPunk NFT, how much is it worth right now, Alan? Do you know?
I think the full price around like 60, 70 ETH. Maybe I check it up. But yeah, still, I didn't realize someone sending a crypto donation, right? It's actually really crazy.
Yeah,
I think this kind of things really make I think make at least like it actually shows like people care about at least first of all, a lot of people care about Ukraine, and then also I think this is another, I would say, a good use case for in terms of a crypto asset in a way.
Yeah, actually, it actually proves that crypto assets are that liquid, and the transfers are actually that fast and that quick and that easy, because within 3 days 30 million just goes over to the Ukrainian government. I think in the form of like traditional finance and banks and things like this will never happen. Probably take 3 to 5 days at least for such a large amount. And of course, this was like, it's not just one person transferring, it's like a lot of people transferring. So if that happens, in traditional finance ways, I don't think a lot of transactions going into 2 different accounts will ever have all of it go through within 3 days. So yeah, that like Alan mentioned, this is a very good and very big and positive use case of cryptocurrency.
I think so. I mean, especially like sending money to Ukraine, and a lot of a lot of countries or a lot of individuals, they don't have other methods, right, to show the support.
Yep. And of course, like the currency differentials as well. I mean, if you send your own currency over to like Ukrainian currency, it's gonna be mad as well, because the conversion wise, nobody's gonna do the conversion for them, or you are not gonna do the conversion for them as well. So sending over cryptocurrency basically is just saying that, you use crypto, I use crypto, why not I send you this? And that's so much easier as well.
Yeah, totally.
We have come to the end of part 1 of this podcast. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye-bye. The information contained in or provided from or through this podcast is not intended to be and does not constitute as financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other form of advices. The information in this podcast is general in nature and is not specific to you, the users, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, be it financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented in this podcast without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory. You understand that you are using any and all information shared in this podcast at your own risk. You are solely liable for any losses that you may incur from investing, and in no event shall we be liable for any losses which may be incurred while investing. Trading of cryptocurrencies is highly risky and may not be suitable for the general public. All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of ABCC. Participants' opinions are based upon information they consider reliable. ABCC does not warrant the completeness or accuracy of such information and should not be relied upon as such.